Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best 15 brawlers to max out with this season in ranked. So it's going to take into account everything, especially, you know, some brawlers are going to be better on certain game modes, some brawlers are going to be better first in the draft, late in the draft, etc. It's a lot different to the other max out video I do. This is just strictly for ranked. So if you guys enjoy these type of videos, make sure to subscribe if you're not already. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So the first brawler I definitely recommend maxing out is Brawlers. So you can go with like another thrower like Berry, for example, but I think Barley is better than Berry right now since Berry got the nerf. But yeah, Barley, there's just so many good maps for Barley in the rotation. I did say like if the map pool changed, then Barley would be weaker, but it didn't change. If anything, more good Barley maps were added. Again, Brawl, it is just thrower heaven. You think of knockout, then Barley can be a good late pick in the knockout meta. You think of some gem grab maps, he's really good. Heist hot potato, he's really good. There's always like a map hot zone as well. There's so many good Barley maps, and the good thing is in ranked is that you can always switch out your build. You can always go with like the heal Barley. If you're facing off against assassins, you can go slow gadget. So there's not really much stopping Barley from just dominating in the ranked meta. Before we get into the video, I want to give a huge shout out to Warcraft Rumble for sponsoring today's video. Warcraft Rumble is a fast-paced action strategy game embraced by strategy enthusiasts worldwide. And one of my favorite things about Warcraft Rumble is that there's tons of content, gameplay, and replayability, so there's just endless fun. There's a huge single-player experience with over 70 missions. There's weekly challenges, monthly challenges, which all involve all of the different game modes like dungeons, raids, and PvP, so you can never get bored. And there's a lot of opportunities to team up with friends as well in competitive events, co-op modes, and even joining guilds together to help everyone collect more resources and upgrade your roster even more. And I've been having a lot of fun with the new Prairie Dragon troop because he's not only strong, versatile, and he has a great ability to grant resist, but he's also really cute. And I've also been making a lot of content over on my second channel, so make sure to check that out. So if you guys want to check out Warcraft Rumble for yourself, make sure to do so by clicking the link in the description. And if you guys download it, make sure to join my guild as well, because I'm recruiting. Okay, so jumping into the next brawler, must absolutely max out for this season in ranked. We have Daryl. So I've said it enough ever since the update, but I think people just need to still max out Daryl. I know that he hasn't got any like really appealing star powers or gadgets. If I was to pick one, it'd have to be Steel Hoops, and it would be the slow gadget. But Daryl is still a menace. In terms of most maps, you might want to pick him towards the end of the draft, but in maps in particular that have any water on, he's just absolutely insane because he can literally roll across the entire map on maps like Canal Grande, Bridge Too Far, Safe Zone. He's just such a big threat. Knockout, he's so good, especially paired with Kit, for example. Brawl, he's really good. Like, it's just insane. The only way that you're going to stop Daryl is if you literally put multiple tank counters in the draft before someone can play him. So yeah, just max him out. It just makes sense. Next up, we have Gail, and again, Gail is still one of the best brawlers inside of the game. They fixed his bug, which theoretically nerfed him, but then buffed his super damage. So Gail is still easily a top 5 brawler in the game. He counters pretty much everything. He hard counters those tanks. That's especially why I want him in the draft. People don't really ban Gail much as well. And again, you think of those late pick brawlers like Daryl, Mortis, Frank, etc. Gail just shuts them down so incredibly well. And you can play Gail pretty much everywhere outside of like knockout probably. So yeah, Gail is still insane. So for the max out list, we have Serge. So Serge is still an insane brawler in the meta. I think his hype charge isn't like the best, but I think in this current meta, he's just a really strong lane brawler. There isn't many brawlers that can really beat him. Think of any grassy map, he's going to be really good with the speed gear. He's going to be able to level up pretty easily. And it's just the fact that a good Serge will be able to carry. And that's what you need in ranks, especially if you're facing or having a lot of bad randoms on your team. A Serge is the carry brawler. So take that into consideration. But still, he's one of the best brawlers in the meta. So next up on the must max out list, we have Piper/Angelo. So it just depends on what type of player you are. Both of them are just as good as each other in the meta. Angelo is going to have a bit more potential on maps with a little bit of water. He's going to be a really good first pick. And I think people actually forget about Angelo more than Piper. So both brawlers are going to be really good. Again, just your preference on the sharpshooters. Piper's going to be a little bit better in game modes like Heist, for example, and maybe a little bit better in Gem Grab, but still, Angelo is going to be really good because he's got a getaway gadget. Both of these brawlers are really good and really versatile, so max out either of them. So for the list, we have Larry. So the twins are still troublesome unranked. The rotation didn't change whatsoever. So maps like you can play Barley on, you can play Larry. But then the good thing about the twins is that, you know, maps where you play Sprout and Tick on, for example, you can just play Larry as well. So in terms of versatility, they're probably the most versatile brawler in this current meta. They're just absolutely insane. And the good thing about them as well is that if you're playing a more passive game mode like Knockout and Bounty, you go to Protect Star Power, which is just going to allow you for more survivability. And then if you're playing like Brawl, Gem Grab, and they whip out some assassins, you can just swap Star Power and just get infinite ammo. So yeah, so much to Larry to love. They're easily estimated. Next on the most maxed out list, we have Mortis. Mortis is a menace in ranked. I can't tell you how many free wins I've had with him when I've picked him as a late pick. People aren't banning him for whatever reason, and boy is he good. I know a lot of times it does require a good internet connection because he is a very ping dependent brawler, but still, if I'm making Mortis work and I haven't got the best internet, you know, he's going to be good. The main thing that carries him though is definitely his hypercharge, so you got to have to bear that in mind. But again, it's got to be a late pick. You can't really pick Mortis too early on the draft because he is easily countered. He is an assassin, but there's so many times where the opponents just haven't, like, you know, got like a Gail or just Chester or something to shut down Mortis, and I'm able to last pick him and just dominate. So I think in terms of late pick, you need some brawlers like that in your arsenal, and Mortis definitely fulfills that. Next up on the most maxed out list, we have Byron. So another really versatile brawler. You need a couple of these brawlers maxed out just because, you know, if some of your maxed out brawlers are banned, you can always just rely on a Byron. He's pretty much good in every single scenario. He's like decent at knockout, decent in bounty. He's even decent as a mid and heist if you need him to be. He's a good gem carrier. He's a good support brawler in Brawl. As long as it's not a map that has a lot of walls like penalty kick, for example, he's going to be pretty good to go. Again, he still does a lot of damage, and he's not actually as bad against assassins as you think. I think definitely his biggest counter is throws. So bear that in mind. Byron is still so versatile and so strong. Next up on the list, we have Buster. So things haven't changed even since the nerf. The map pool normally shakes up brawlers that I recommend, but Buster is still one of the best brawlers inside of a game. I will say that it's a little bit harder to carry randoms with Buster because he is a support brawler. A lot of the time, you got to stay close to your teammates, and they've got to recognize that once you get your super, then you can push, then you can make plays with your gadget, etc. But it's just so many good Buster maps. Basically, any map that has a lot of grass, you can use Buster in because you can be super defensive, wait for your super, you can be sneaky, pull your gadget, and then you're able to two-tap most brawlers in the game. Yeah, Buster's still a must max out. Next up on the must max out list, we have Chester, and boy is he so busted in ranked. The best thing about it is that no one bans Chester. I don't even know why, because he's such a strong brawler, top 5. I think people just under this misconception, you know, just because he's not like broken doesn't mean that he's not strong, you know what I mean? Just because of the meta, he's just so consistent with his damage. His supers can be game changing. If you get a dynamite super in the right situation in Brawl, it's an easy goal, or it's just going to be able to counter throwers. It's going to be able to get you that kill. And it's just that the fact that assassins just can't approach Chester, because if you get the damage gear active, you're dealing like 9k with 2 pieces of ammo, which is just absolutely bizarre. Yeah, Chester's so versatile and easily one of the best brawlers in the game. Jumping into the next brawler you must max out, it is still Kit. So people are sleeping on Kit still. There's so many good synergies with Kit. You think of knockout, especially now that like Mortis and Daryl are more meta. I can't tell me the amount of times where I've got Daryl and Kit, and then they've got like Colette, Artie, etc., and they still can't deal with it because the synergy is just absolutely insane. Kit is still such a good support brawler. You can use Kit as an assassin if needs be as well. Basically, any map with a lot of throwers or snipers, Kit's going to be even better because Kit does deal a pretty decent amount of damage. So Kit's still meta. I'll definitely recommend maxing Kit out. Up on the most max out list, we have Crow/Colette. So I do recommend picking a brawler that is good in heist, whether that's like Crow or Colette, because they've got good hypercharges. Crow's going to be a little bit versatile in the sense that you can probably go him in like Gem Grab and other long range maps. Colette's going to be okay, but it's starting to get a little bit worse in the meta. Or you could even go like Melody Chuck, for example. You just need a really good heist brawler, because there's been so many times where, you know, on my free-to-play account, I'm a bit stuck because I've only really got like Colt or something, and Colt's just picked so often in ranked. So you need a brawler like this that's going to carry you in heist. Next up on the must max out list for ranked, we have Mo. So I'm going to go over Mo quickly because everyone should know he's the best brawler in the game. I will say that he's banned more often than not in my Masters games, but I can't not make this video without mentioning him, because if you do manage to get your hands on him, it's a pretty much free win every single time. He's that good, but I'm going into rank 35 games with randoms and I'm winning every single time with Mo. So if that doesn't go to show that he's the best brawler in the game, I don't know what does. So Mo's super versatile. He can go literally everywhere as long as it's not like Shooting Star. You can play Mo. So next up on the most maxed out list, we've got Gene/Max. So these are two brawlers that are in around the A tier. and I recommend maxing out one of them. You know, whether it's Max, who does take a lot more skill, but Max can create so many good synergies, or whether that's Gene, takes a lot less skill in my opinion, and you can play Gene like really passively and knock out on bounty. They're just always going to get value out of these two brawlers. Again, the reason being they're so versatile. Like Gene, you can play knockout, bounty, gem grab without fail. Max, you can go gem grab, Brawl Ball, and then you can go on super long range maps to counter snipers. So you need that versatility with your roster. But into the final brawl we must max out for this season, we have RT/Mandy. So I've nearly gone over 20 brawlers to be honest, but these two brawlers again can go hand in hand because both of them are going to be essential in the knockout meta. I think people just sleep on RT and knockout. If you combine it with any sharpshooter or Gene in particular, you're going to be good to go. And then of course you got your super to stop any of the last pick cheese, whether it's Daryl, Kit, etc. And you can still play RT in other situations as well. But again, Mandy mainly when playing in bounty and knockout, but mainly knockout because you can carry with Mandy. The supercharges so quickly now. You need one of these two brawlers in knockout because they will carry and they're sleeper picks. I don't see them banned in knockout, but they tend to carry for me a lot of the time. So that's going to be it for today's video. A lot of brawlers to digest, but I think you do need quite a diverse pool. You need to be making sure that you've got at least a couple of good brawlers in terms of like a couple of good mid brawlers. That's why I recommended like Max, Gene, Byron, Piper, etc. And then of course you need good lane brawlers on different maps and scenarios. This just covers everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.